Hello. I hope everyone is doing well. I want to speak about intention. Intention. Set your intention to that which is right. Set your intention to that which is righteous. Set your intention to that which will gain you favor. A lot of us go about our days and we just move about. We don't really think about what we're doing. We don't really think about what we're saying. We need to be conscious about everything that's going in our body and everything that's coming out of us. Some of us have ill intention, and most of it is not premeditated. Most of our ill intention is just embedded in the core of who we are, where everything is about us, our need, and our want. And we have to be mindful of this. We have to know and see when we're falling into that so that we can quickly reverse. Now, I always make mention of when I used to play a lot of games, right? I had ill intention. I had ill intention. I would make you believe that everything was about you. In fact, it was all about me, my need, and my want. And I can actually care less about what your need and your want is. And a lot of us are living like that still today. Now, because I have gained consciousness, because I have taken the time to look at me, to look inside me, um, to analyze me, to try to figure out where I went wrong with me, it's easy for me to identify that. Very easy. Some of us are not taking that time, so we can't see it. Some of us see it, don't care. We would rather stay in that state because we feel in our heart that we are benefiting when in fact we are not. We're losing. We're losing. Whenever you have that mentality, you are and always will be the loser. And we have to get out of that. We have to get out of doing things for the sole purpose of gain. We most definitely do. It is no good when we do that. It's no good. And we really put ourselves in a bad situation when we do that. And we need to take the time to understand what's going on with us so that we can move through, past, and beyond that. Ill intention, it follows you. It follows you. It goes back to that thing of you reap what you sow. And you most certainly will reap what you sow. You may not reap it right away. You may not even reap it in this lifetime. But you will reap what you sow. It is a fact. It is a fact. When you stop and think about the things you're doing and the reason for which you're doing them, you'll have a better chance at recognizing and understanding whether your intention is good or not. Whether you're doing things with a sincere heart, because everything we do, we should do it most definitely with a sincere heart. We should do it solely for the sake of doing a righteous deed. We should not do it for the sake of gain. We should not do it for the sake of gain, because when we go into things for the sake of gain, we go into things blinded. Blinded, you know. So we have to be conscious of that. At every turn, we have to be conscious of that. You know, I do a lot of giving charity. I do that because it frees my soul. It makes me feel wonderful. I mean, it elevates me beyond. It feels great. It feels great. I don't give charity for the sake of receiving anything, you know. Um, I don't do, when I go about and I do things for people, I don't do it for the sake of what they're going to do for me in the end, or what I'm going to gain in the end, or how someone is going to look at me in the end, or, you know, even how I look at myself in the end, you know, because we put ourselves on these pedestals too, and, you know, we lift ourselves up and sometimes elevate ourselves and make us think that we're better than, because we do certain things, and that's in fact far from the case. You're only doing what you're called to do. Only doing what you're called to do. We are here to service mankind. We most certainly are. And when we're not servicing mankind, then we're doing a disservice to ourselves. A disservice to ourselves. It takes nothing for you to help someone just because they need help. It takes nothing for you to be there to listen, you know, to someone when they're having a moment and they just need an ear. It takes nothing to be a shoulder when someone needs a shoulder to cry on. It takes nothing. It really doesn't. And we have to set our intention to always being there for people and being there for them for the right reasons. All the right reasons all the time. Everything that we do, we want to make sure that we're doing them for the right reasons. And if you're unsure about why you're doing something, maybe you should ask yourself, now really, why am I doing this? Why? And be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. You know, it's a level of freedom that comes with living your life, and even in the strive of living your life according to righteousness, according to, you know, how we know we're supposed to be living our lives. There's a level of righteousness, there's a level of greatness that comes with that. It really is. And we have to make sure that we're always doing what's required of us. This is required of us. Required of us. You know, we're not doing anything that has not been asked, to be honest. Like, it's been set forth for us to do. It's been set forth for us to be, you know, better. For us to make sure that we interact with each other in a righteous manner. To make sure that we help each other, to move each other along. You know, it's been set forth for us to do that. The prophets came for that reason, to help move mankind along. If it wasn't for us to do it, then we would never need prophets. You know, to give us the prophecies and to teach us and to guide us and, you know, to give us the revelations and this and that and so on and so forth. If we didn't need it, we would never have it. It would have never started from day one, in the beginning. You know, from the beginning of time. There has always been someone sent and set forth to help us to move forward, you know, to where we are supposed to be in life. That's just is it just is what it is. Right? And we have to keep on moving in that. And we have to keep on, you know, projecting that. Projecting that. We do. It's very important. It's very important that we keep on moving. Um, and part of us moving is moving others along. Sharing information, helping each other, being of assistance is very important. Because then, if we're not doing these things, we're all at a standstill. We're all at a standstill. And if you ask me, we're already at a standstill. Even in motion, we're at a standstill because of the mental that's lacking in most of us. So we don't want to be physically and mentally at a standstill. You know, it's just destruction. We're doomed to fail. We're doomed to fail. So I just want people to be mindful, honestly, of what you're doing and the reasons that you're doing them. Really, be mindful of that. Because, some people don't really realize that it's all being taken into account. I don't think some people really understand the severity of this situation. I really don't. It's not until you really let go and let God that you really understand the accountability factor of life. And just because you're not being accountable for your actions right here, right now, does not mean that you will never be held accountable for them. And we really need to get out of that state of ignorance and thinking that we're getting away with something when we get away with nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. I always say no good deed goes unrewarded and no bad deed goes unpunished. And his judgment is the ultimate. And we all got to stand before him one day, and we all got to answer for our indiscretions, whether you believe it or not. It's best that you start believing it if you don't. If you do, you understand exactly where I'm going with this. You understand exactly what I'm saying, and you understand the severity of it all. We sometimes, we use this thing, I'm only human, as a crutch. We are most certainly only human. We most certainly are sinners. We most certainly are imperfect. We most certainly will make mistakes. But that does not justify why we continuously fall into the state of sin, why we continuously do things against ourselves and others, why we continuously turn, a blind eye and ear to good, righteousness, while we continuously fall into the state of ignorance. That's no excuse. That's no excuse. Because we are not children anymore, and we have the mental capacity we should. If we don't, we need to get it. To understand right from wrong. So when you're doing wrong, you also understand with that there's consequences when you're doing wrong. So we cannot continue to use that as an excuse. We really cannot. We really need to be better with this thing and get our mind over the matter. Because right now the matter controls our mind, and that's ungood. I mean, that's not good. It's uncivilized. It really is. It's uncivilized. It makes no sense. We have so many powers. Great power. Great power. And we submit to powers less than us. We submit to drugs and alcohol, sex, lust, all that stuff. We submit to that. Why? When we have control over those things. We most certainly have control over those things. We have control over our desires. We have control. And we find it so easy to just give in. To just give in. And like I said, we cop that plea. Oh, I'm imperfect. It is what it is. No, no. We got to start holding ourselves accountable. We most certainly do. We got to start holding ourselves accountable. People, I just don't get it. Intention. You know that you are not capable of being what I need you to be. Why would you front? Why would you pretend? Because for your own gain. Intention. A lot of people do things because they're just all they care about is their intention. They'll feed you a whole lot of BS. A whole lot of BS. It's like fishing. The BS is that bait on the end of the rod. The fish, whatever they use to bait. I would like to go fishing. That'd be nice. That's the BS. Right? And they practice this sport of BSing. You know. Throw it out. Wait for somebody to take, get, fish to get hold of the rod or whatever the case may be, the bait, and patiently just wheel you in. Patiently. Right? This is how I refer to their ill intention. Because they wheeling you in with their BS. And you, unknowing, just like that fish that get caught on that rod, he just want to eat. He see the bait, he feel like he got a meal. And we as humans the same way. We see the bait, that BS, and we don't realize it as BS most of the time. Sometimes we do and we just still fall into it. But for the most part, we do not. And we get attached to it, right? And once we start getting reeled in, it's hard to get unattached. And I don't care how much wiggling and worming and squirming you do, you can't get off. You can't get off, and then you get caught up in their stuff. You get caught up in their stuff. And then you find out, you know, once you're out of the water, what it really was. By that time, it's too late. You already ain't got caught, and, you're injured, and, already done suffered some loss or whatever the case may be. Sometimes, depending on what kind of fish it is, they don't even want you. They throw you back in the water injured. What happens to the fish? Eventually, the fish die, don't it? So that was all in vain. All in vain. Sometimes they get cooked and eaten. Still. Intention. I like that metaphor. I like that metaphor. Because it happens so much. It really, really does happen a lot. We have to be mindful of that. And we as the person or the people that's out here with these ill intentions, I suggest you start rethinking what you're doing and get this thing right and do something differently. Everybody want to yell, I'm 100. I'm 100. You know. I just tell it like it is, so on and so forth. Lies you tell. Lies you tell, because I wish I could be a fly on the walls wherever you are. I wish I could. Because I know for a fact that them same individuals that's yelling this 100, they 100, 100, whatever the case may be, still going around with ill intention, lying to people, baiting them in with their lies. I know for a fact. But you're 100. What part of you is 100? Is what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm trying to figure out. You know, a person that's 100 is gonna be honest. What's the why lie? Why lie? You won't be condemned for telling the truth, but you will, however, be condemned for telling a lie. And a lot of us do it. And there's no such thing as a white lie. A lie is a lie is a lie is a lie. Okay? It just is what it is. Just be honest. That's all you have to do. Just be honest. Because lies go back to ill intention. What you lying for? You know, your intent is to make me believe your lie. We got to get away from this. We really do. What happened to honesty, being trustworthy? What happened to that? What happened to integrity? What happened to those things? We lost that somewhere along the way. And we need to find it. We need to find it. Whatever your truth is, just be open and honest about it. You're allowed to feel however you feel. But what you're not allowed to do is lie and mislead people. That's what you're not allowed to do. Not now, not ever. Ill intent. Ill intent. I've had many, many experiences with people telling me one thing and then I find out it's something else. Many experiences. When all you had to do was be honest. Be honest. Allow me the option, you know. Allow me to decide whether I still want to deal with you or not deal with you. Allow me that freedom. You know. Just be honest. You're really not helping me, and you're not helping yourself either. You're only hurting the situation that's already in grave danger, or whatever the case may be. You're not helping it by lying. You know, we already in a situation. Why lie? Why make the situation more than it has to be? I don't understand that. This one guy told me when I started really coming into myself, he was like, you know what? One thing about you that I don't like, you too honest. He said, you too honest. Because he had asked me something, and some things, I know would hurt his feelings. But I couldn't lie about it because you asked. You asked. And, this guy, he really liked me. Um, and he used to, most of, asking me how I feel about him. You okay? Do you see us being together? No, I don't. I don't. And I'll run down all the reasons why I don't. You know, it's just my preferences. But he respected that. And even to this day, he always laugh and just say, whenever, he always say, I can always count on you to be honest. At this point, I don't know no other way to be. If I feel something, I'm going to say that I feel it. If I don't, I'm going to say that I don't. I'm not going to lie, because I don't want to mislead people. And I've had enough experiences with being misled. I know exactly firsthand how that feels. Firsthand. So because I know exactly firsthand how that feels, I take every precaution not to fall into that. Not to fall into that. Because it's so easy to do, because what we say, we want to spare their feelings. Well, I deal with people the way I want people to deal with me. Spare me the lie. I can deal with my own feelings. Because when the truth come out, what I feel if you told the truth in the beginning, what I feel is nothing compared to what I feel if I found out that everything that you said was a lie. That'll be worse. It'll be harder to deal with, and really it'll destroy any chance we have of being a friend or anything else. So honesty is always the best policy, and set your intent to be honest all the time. Don't walk around here in deception. Don't do it. Please don't do it. And it's a lot of us that's doing it, and I need us to come up out of it. Come up out of it. You in these relationships and you out, meeting and greeting people. And when the question arises, do you have someone that you quick to yell no? Quick. Because you're driven by what's going to come. So if you don't have a relationship, is in your mind, if you tell that person, no, I'm not in a relationship, you feel like you can get somewhere with them. And most of the time, if you're in a relationship, you're not looking for another one. So the only place you're really trying to look to go is to the bed. Ill intent. Ill intent. And we need to be mindful of that. A lot of people won't come with that ill intent. A whole lot of them. Trust me. They'll tell you anything. They'll tell you anything. I had a couple of people found out I'm not having sex. I want to marry you, so on and so forth. Why? Why? You don't really want to marry me because you will never be what I need you to be. You just want to be with me because I'm not having sex with nobody else, and you feel like that'll be an experience. No. But you can't bring to the table what I need. I don't need sex. I've had a lot of it. I don't need sex. Do I want it? Yes. Do I need it? No. No. I'm not controlled by that anymore. I used to be. I'm not controlled by that anymore. I need somebody that I can sit down and have a conversation with, someone that's going to stimulate all of this up in here. That's what I need. I need someone that's going to help me move forward in my endeavors. Someone that's going to support me, uplift me, motivate me, keep me moving. When I'm down, they're going to be up and bring me back up. Someone who can humble themselves enough to know that just because you're a man doesn't mean that I'm less than you. And the same way you help me and you give me advice, I can do the same thing for you. And he's man enough to receive it. He's man enough to understand that I stand in my own strengths. Right? I stand in my own strengths. And sometimes you got to be a little submissive to me and where I'm standing, because I, in fact, am strong in my own ways as well. And I don't always have to agree with everything that you say, especially when I know that it's not right. And you respect me enough to allow me my opinions. You take it and you don't feel less than. And a lot of men can't do that. A lot of men just want to run everything. And most of them that want to run everything can't run nothing. Can't even run themselves. Can't even run themselves. So why would I? Oh, no. Mm-mm. See, when I'm looking, I'm looking. I'm just not looking at the outside of you to determine, whether you'll be a good match for a relationship. I'm looking at the core of who you are. Everything inside and out. Everything inside and out. And everything got to align, because I swear, I want you to look at me. Everything inside and out. And please, please, don't be biased. Be honest with yourself. And if everything not aligning, by all means, walk on by. By all means. Because this is longevity over here. I have no time to play. And the only way to obtain longevity is to understand from the beginning where you are, where you stand, and whether you have a chance of moving forward from there. And if there is no chance, what's the use of playing the game? But a lot of people will play that game with you. They most certainly will. And we got to be wise enough to not allow them to play the game with us. For the ones who keep on falling into the trick bag. I used to fall into the trick bag. Because I used to feel like I just need somebody. I just need to be somebody to be in my space. No, after years of having somebody in my space that irritate my soul, I realized that I would rather be in my own space and have my soul completely, in harmony with me and feel good and just, go with that. Yeah, yeah. If I had to let go of that to have that, no thank you. Okay? So please, let's be mindful of that. And let's set our intention to righteousness always. Always. All right? We say we 100. Let's be 100 in our intention. MJK.